Welcome to another edition of Interruptions. I'm your host. Today, I got another treat for you guys out there. I love this lady. I love her acting skills. I'm a fan of hers. You might have seen her on The Wire. You might have seen her on the New Edition biopic, as well as Bobby Brown's biopic.
And Bobby
She
Brown's birthday is tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow?
It's tomorrow, February
Oh,
5th.
happy birthday, Mr.
Happy
Brown.
birthday. Yes,
I'm
amen.
talking no other than this fabulous, dynamic, intense actress, Sandi Mccree. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, so that is matter of fact, since you said Bobby Brown,
Uh-huh.
and we know you just let us all know that tomorrow is his birthday.
Birthday
So
is tomorrow.
let's go ahead and pull up this background picture
Yeah.
with you and Mr. Brown. So see, I told you I switched pictures. I switched pictures.
Yeah. Yes. Amen to Bobby Brown still here with us.
Hey, listen. I've been trying to interview. I've been trying to find an interview because I already know how I want to interview. I want to go a totally different route than people normally interview him. And I'm like you said. I'm glad he's still here with us and everything he's been through. I just hate people, try to paint somebody in a particular light and you don't even know
And you don't even know. You don't
him.
know. He's a beautiful soul, amazing, talented performer. As we know, he's gifted us with so much. He's was a blessing in my life. And I celebrate me, the TV mom, for
Right.
playing his beautiful mom, Carol Brown. But I celebrate him as my brother and as
Yes.
my friend.
He that Don't Be Cruel album,
Uh-huh.
that album cover, listen, I had the same suit with the white turtleneck. I was yeah. Hey, I always champion my dog skin brothers. My
Right,
dog
right.
skin people. I always tell people you want to win, you got to go dog skin. My first question for you today. I know you talked about in a previous interview how you always wanted to act, and you did school plays, you did stuff at church and play. So it's
Yeah.
always been in you
Yes.
to want to perform. But what I want to ask you, when for you did that dream start to become a reality where you said, it's going past it, just a dream, something you want to do to where you was like, you know what, I can really do this.
Oh, wow. I've never been asked that question. It's an outstanding question because I think the parents always want you, and I grew up in a time where, we are technology is coming,
Hmm.
computers, software, and I'm in the DMV now, and I mean the government is like you grow up, get a good career, get a good government job, which is scary right now.
Okay.
And that's what my parents' dream was for me to teach or get me a good government job.
Okay.
But the theater and screen was just always calling me, not music because I'm not musically inclined. I have a voice, but I can't sing. God gave me other gifts. As one of my uh voice teachers told me at one time, he's like, Sandy, God's given you other gifts, but singing is not going to be one
Oh,
one
he
of them.
he was being he was being polite.
He said, I'm not taking your money anymore because I was trying.
Okay. Okay.
Um, so, and so I just, every opportunity that came up, especially in the theater, I
Hmm.
would fly all over, trying to get, um, trying to book, plays in Chicago and New
Okay.
York, just trying to get put down. And it was just in me.
Just I mean, not that dream, but that drive
The
was
drive
just
was, and I and this is a story, I don't think I've told this story. I might have, but when I booked The Wire, I was just hired as a flight attendant for American. I would have been going to training for American Eagle, my God, because we know that's the plane that just went down here in
Yeah,
DC.
yeah.
I booked uh I booked a job to start training to become a flight attendant. And the reason I started the path of a flight attendant so I could fly to all these auditions that I was going out.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
smart.
I was like, yeah. I mean, a lot of people do it. You do what you can. And when I booked The Wire, it was supposed to be one episode, maybe two episodes. And the incredible Eric Overmeyer and David Simon told me that I would be in the rest of the season. So they were like, you're not going to be a flight attendant. Yeah. So it's not happening.
That's that I mean you know that's cool because you went for just trying to build your resume. So you thinking one episode, whatever, but you're building your resume, and then you turn that into being on, the rest of that season. Uh,
I didn't turn it on. I was slated to come on for the mom of
mhm,
Nan, the wife of
right,
Weeb, like they had written her for maybe one episode, maybe two.
right.
And the producers, the writers, God said they like what I was doing, I guess, and I've got written into the rest of the
That's
season,
why
not
that's why
the
I said
13
you.
episodes.
That's why I said you because you turned it into that. And since you went there, this was one of my questions, but you're already there. So we're gonna go ahead and go there. Can you talk about how do you stay true to a character but yet be rememberable? So like you're supposed to be, when you're in a supporting role, you sometimes you come in and you out, right?
Right.
And so you have kind of this blueprint of who she is, that far as how you created her from real life incident that you went through, of a mother of a young girl, and you took that and you built that character. But how do you still stay true to what they want on the script, but then try to make sure that your job and you make it impactful for us to remember you because we did?
Well, story, um,
Mm-hmm.
whether the story is told through music, whether the story
Mm-hmm.
is told through film, a story, it's a collaboration. So the
Okay.
writers they did me justice by creating this character, Delanda. The producers, the directors did me justice in how they gave me insight in what's happening. Uh, my colleagues, my co-actors, um, Halito, Weebay, the chemistry that we had, that story, all of that's told. It's a collaboration. All that's told with each other. It's like a symphony, an orchestra. Everybody's coming in from their section to chime in and create this crescendo of truth of life.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's not me, it's us, it's we. That's how I look
See,
at it.
see,
I
that's
look at
that's
that, the soul of what I'm bringing in and what I'm
mhm.
adding to it. It's a love affair.
That's how I knew you were a theater actor. See that right there? That see right there. I done interviewed too many theater actors to know
Mhm.
when you all speak, you come from the same cut because you describe what when I first started my podcast and I interviewed the great Bill Dukes,
Oh
and
yeah,
he talked about acting is being, and then you have to be with others. So like
right.
you're playing, but you're not playing by yourself.
Hmm.
You got this thing, like you said, this symphony,
It's a
that
symphony.
all these different components are coming together to
Yes.
tell a story, but also it's bringing life to each character. So
Yes.
you beautifully describe that. And he
Yeah.
also said that
It
when you're doing theater as well, you're also playing like when you're in a theater setting, that you're also playing with the audience because
yes.
you got to pull that person in the back row
Yes.
into the story.
Yes. Yes. Yes, when I'm on stage, yes,
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah. When you
much
don't say
bigger. It
right,
is. It is much bigger. The projection is much bigger, and that's the beauty of when I love being on stage doing theater. And I do a lot of comedy too. A lot of our fans,
improv.
yeah, improv. A lot of the fans do. I love comedy, but it's a little bit bigger in life. But also the beauty of this medium of television and film.
Hmm.
Um, is when I'm next to um, another actor or whoever I'm playing in this story, and just
Hmm.
hearing their breath and feeling their breath, and the sense of touch and smell and everything, all the senses, it comes even. It's even richer because of the camera is just so intimate and it captures everything. So it's a different medium, but it's
Yeah,
still a symphony of truth. I look at it that way.
yeah. Because I'm always amazed at when you all as actors have to convey something, but you're not saying anything. So, like you said, the
Hmm.
camera catches everything. So I'm having to look at your facial expression or whatever without you saying anything, and kind of know where how you're feeling, where you're going with it. And so that's amazing, and it takes
You
me
should see
back.
me at a party because I'm everyone thinks like Sandy, and I am a
Uh,
little bit, and I always say I'm shy, and they're like, Sandy, you're not shy. But at a party, you just read my face because I'm just like a fly on the wall. I'm just like I hang in a cut. I let everybody else have their shine. I'm usually the plus one, the sidekick. I'm never the it girl or anything. But my face reads so much. I am just watching, I'm feeling, I'm having fun, but I'm shy. I'm just always in the cut a little bit.
No, you're the observant one. You understand the importance. Somebody raised you to know I need you to pay attention to your surroundings. I
I
need you to
do.
know what's popping wherever you are. So you're the one that comes in, you kind of reserve at first. You chilling, you scoping out the
I
whole
am.
scene. Yeah. Then
Yeah.
when you start talking or interacting, they don't understand. You're still observing. Your eyes are still
I should
moving.
be I'm a detective. I'm a police cop. I know what's
Yeah,
going on 24/7. That's
yeah,
the truth.
yeah.
I am. I think I've never been described that as an observer, but I am. I am
Well, I
indeed.
live with two in my house. My daughter and my wife. My
Mhm.
other daughter, she's more like her dad, like me. She comes in, she's a party person, life of the party. But what I had to learn to do is then when I leave, talk to my wife, like, okay, what was that? How was that? What you see? What was, yeah, I had to learn to do that. And my youngest daughter, you will not even know she's in the room. She can be there, she can talk to you, and then she can disappear, and then she can reappear. Because I'll sit downstairs and watch TV, and I just hear something in the kitchen. I'm like, when did you come downstairs? Like I don't even hear her coming down the steps. So I live with two observers. So that's a great quality that you have, and it'll serve you well, as I'm sure you already
Thank
know, because
you.
observers also know when to leave.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys do it in a way that you're not. Well, people don't really know why you're really leaving. You
No,
just like, hey, I gotta get
I'm
up
good for
tomorrow.
Irish exit at any party. I'm good.
You good
I,
for what?
an Irish exit. I'll have my energy and whatever, but I
Uh,
sometimes don't say goodbye. I've graced you with some good energy and fun. Hopefully, I'll be invited back. That was my mother's thing with raising me. She would send me out and just
mhm.
wanted me to be on my best behavior, have a good time, because she said you always want to be invited back.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah,
They'll
so I would
always
leave you with that. But if I have to step out and slip out, because don't be there when the lights come on.
don't be with it. You got to know when to leave.
You,
Uh, for you, what is the audition process been like for you? I know it's changed a little bit from when you had to actually physically be there, and then now, since COVID, they'll allow you to send a reel in. But for
yeah,
you,
self-tapes.
yeah, self tape. So
There's an
for
article that came out today
hmm
about one of the casting or there was a interview or a couple casting directors
hmm
in Atlanta actually that said that when they see a self-tape 4 seconds in they know um whether or not you know they want to proceed with the person. I've heard 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and I do a lot of acting coaching too, predominantly with young people,
hmm
which is unfortunate too. I think it's unfortunate because you don't know the setting, especially since um some actors, if they're self-taping at home or if they have the
right.
luxury of having someone, having a great reader, having
hmm
setting, having um, the means for great lighting and everything, backdrops, sound. You don't know. So it's challenging for some actors. I've been
hmm
blessed, again, to have support. And then you get story, and you may have a number of auditions, and the amount of time for preparations when people
hmm
said they know. So the audition process for me, it is what it is. I try to bring truth. I
Right.
I prepare and I try whether it's an audition for a micro budget or a big feature or somebody who my friends who have embraced me who's successful. I have the integrity of giving every audition, every story that much, a
Okay.
100% of showing up, as we say, of being of self, of truth. So yeah, for me, it's great.
Do
It's great.
you, for you, let me ask you this. Was it better auditioning, before COVID where they wanted you there and you was auditioning where maybe you can come as the character based on, the information that you had versus, sending in a reel?
Mm, well, it depends. It depends because when you audition a lot, sometimes people are aware of your work.
Okay.
Um, Sometimes people have relationships and have they know what they want, and
hmm
sometimes they have no idea. But you will hear this all the time that the casting directors are rooting for you because you can come in and change somebody's mind of what they thought they wanted and
Okay.
what shows up in the room. And that happened for me um with I think it happened for me with everything that I do, honestly. But
Okay.
I remember going in for the new edition story and
hmm
I saw all my favorite um A-list African American black
hmm
female, just I was just fanning out. I was like, when I saw Lisa Nicole Carson, I was like, oh my God, I love you so
Yeah.
much. And you don't want to
Oh
disturb
yeah.
anybody because they're coming in there because we're coming in
Yeah.
to book work. But there were so many people um, that that they brought in for those roles of those moms. And I was like in awe.
I wanted to see
Same
more of
time,
the moms. I
yeah,
wanted to
at the
see
same,
more.
huh?
I wanted to see more of the moms.
Maybe they'll do more of the moms. We need to talk to Jessica.
Yeah, you all were great. Like you said, you had you, Lisa, Lala,
Yvette Nicole Brown,
Monica.
Monica,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
Calhoun.
mean, and and that's the way you guys when you were all together. About the whole what was it, $1.87? The whole uh that thing, and then also the way you guys were together when they had to fire. No, when the I forget his name. He was playing the
Brooke.
white manager. No, not Brooke.
Oh, not
He was
Brooke.
playing the white, and he insulted you guys, and
Michael Rappaport.
yeah, Michael Rabbit, he is
Uh-huh.
insulted you guys, and
Hmm.
y'all had a look like,
Uh-huh.
well, if you don't get up out of here before you get before you get tossed up out of here.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that
And
was yeah.
Abdul Williams, who wrote the screenplay,
Hmm.
there was nothing left out. No beats were missed whatsoever. And that truth from speaking with New Edition, speaking with Bobby, speaking with Michael, speaking with all of them, nothing was left out. And for those Black moms to go over there and advocate and support their sons during this time, which when I think about it, just during this time, the best that they knew how, um they did a doggone good job. Because
Yeah,
look at them now.
look at them now.
They is it next week they're back in Las Vegas for another residency.
You couldn't tell me growing up. You couldn't tell me I wasn't in New Edition. You couldn't even, man. You couldn't tell me
Yeah.
that. So the it's amazing your acting skills, because I love the fact you could be fiery if the character, if it calls for the character to be that, and
Hmm.
then and I like that because then when you played Carol Brown, Bobby Brown's mother, you
Hmm.
also got to show the other side of her being happy for her son, uh,
Hmm.
uh, being with her husband, Bobby's dad, and because what the beautiful part about it was, like you said, in that time, growing up in that time, as 80s and everything, like no social media, right? So we don't know about these guys. We don't know about their parents. We don't know. So it allowed to humanize Bobby even more, you know, and for you to be able to pull that off, to be stern, playing her to be stern at one point, looking for the money,
Hmm.
talking to Brooke, like, hey man, hey, where the money at? You the manager, what's popping? And then, you know, um, showing the vulnerable side when Bobby was voted out and she's looking for help, trying to call the other mothers. Nobody's answering the phone. That makes you think like, wow. Because I heard Michael Bivins say something that was real poignant. And I was like, he said, first of all, the voting should have never happened. But the way they presented it to them.
To them. Hmm.
And he said, but Bobby, and you could tell it kind of just dawned on him in this interview, and
Hmm.
it hurt his heart. He said, Bobby did for me what I didn't do for him,
Mm.
because they wanted to put Mike out,
Hmm.
but Bobby said no, you know. But
Hmm.
when it came that turn, he didn't do what Bobby did, and it dawned on him in that interview that Bobby did something for him that he didn't he didn't do. He didn't reciprocate it at that time.
And they were being influenced by all the outside forces
Yes.
who they
Yes.
were making money for. And I was having a discussion with someone today, one of my best friends,
Hmm.
E. Rideout, who's also my attorney too. Um, and she was talking about this quote, this statement that one of the judges said,
Hmm.
truth without love can be brutal.
Yeah.
And they were, it was challenging for Bobby, and it was a lot going on. Um, and at the same time that he was dismissed out,
Hmm.
launched him into again another superstar life. God gives us um, God gives us the strength to endure,
Yeah.
hardships and obstacles. So at the same time this all happened, look at
Man,
him.
he,
And
man,
that's why I love them. I have so much respect for them, is because they are so closer than close.
yeah, yeah.
I It's a true brotherhood. Like I've never seen one stronger than New Edition.
Well, that's because people don't understand, like you, and I know by you working on the New Edition story, and then of course continue playing Carol Brown and Bobby Brown's biopic, you started to understand when you're getting all the backdrop of how young they were. And then understanding, because you and I both was alive then, understanding the time frame, that dispensation of time. It was different. People don't understand that time era, that era was different than it is today.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it was so easy for them to be victims,
yeah.
because you're trying to get up out the hood. They
Mhm.
got this talent, and then people not understanding who Brooke really was to them, as far as what Brooke is. The amazing part, I said Brooke actually is New Edition,
Uh,
because
Let me chime
go
in.
ahead, go ahead, go
It
ahead.
My audition, like when you asked me about it, when I
Sure.
said I was in awe of the talent that they
Yes.
were considering for those moms.
Okay.
I'm not an A-list. I'm not even B-list. I might have been a third or fourth thought. But at the same time, the incredible Robbie Reed, casting director,
Yes, and director. Yeah.
texted me and asked me if I was back. I was actually in Atlanta and I came back to LA, and she said, "Hey, I want to bring you in for this." And I was like, "Okay." She sent me everything. And I walked in, I was like, "Woo! Look at, all of these women I admire."
Hmm.
And at the same time, I had to go in there and do my job.
Right.
And I went in, I had prepped the best way I knew how. And I like stumbled, stuttered, threw down my script because I was like, I need to start again.
Okay.
And I started again because I only had one shot. I saw who I'm up against.
Okay.
And I was like, I had nothing to lose. I was like, oh no, because I know what I wanted to bring, and that the few first 4 seconds, if
Hmm.
the casting directors that was just talking, those 4 seconds, they would have dismissed me off of self tape. But I had more seconds in this audition, uh, in person audition. I
Right.
had to start over. I threw the script down and started over, and um, the, I think it was Chris Robinson gave me some new direction.
Okay.
And I was like, he's like, not this. This is we're gonna go this. You're on the right track, but no, this is what happened. And I was like, whoa, okay. So it's a whole different direction. Took that
Hmm.
direction. And Brooke was sitting there also, and Jesse Collins.
Okay.
I finished the audition.
Hmm.
I said, thank you. And I left it there because you have to give it over to God. It's not yours.
Right.
Yeah. And I walked out, and Abdul was there, and I was so glad because he was instrumental also. And Brooke told me that at that point he saw Carol Brown in that room, and he said, "That's Carol Brown," and it was Brooke Payne
Wow.
who was instrumental in getting me, like he brought
Wow.
New Edition together for me to
Right.
play that role. So, like, all praises be to an extraordinary man
Yeah.
with extraordinary insight and talent. Yeah.
Yeah, Brooke is, for me to watch, all growing up and watching them, all the choreography
Mm.
and the stuff that Brooke put together was, he took what was the Temptations and the Jacksons, and he went a whole nother level with it. Like it was amazing to watch those guys. To each video, um, the each song there's a different choreography with it. Like it is
Genius.
amazing.
It is
Yeah, yeah.
genius.
It's genius. It's
It is genius because we know every step today. We know every word, every song. That's why they have a residency. It's like if you have not experienced New Edition, you need to see New Edition. You need to see all of them. You need to
okay.
feel that fire of unity, of love, of brotherhood. The tapestry of our lives through their story.
Let me ask you this question here. How do you decompress from a character when you're doing your job and you're being, how do you come out of that character so you can be Sandy?
I travel a lot. I travel a lot. I do. I just came back from Hawaii and
Okay, okay.
I'm going back again very soon, in a few weeks.
That's
But
a
I travel a lot. God,
that,
thank God.
that allows you to be you and don't
Yeah,
get
Sandy is
stuck. Yeah.
Sandy can have a reality show, but she will not. I don't do reality, but yeah, Sandy is one thing, but the characters and the roles that are presented
hmm
to me are it's a whole nother beast. It's a whole different of women, whether they're real life
hmm
or it's just a whole nother beast. And my spirit of who I am, I'm like the silliest, craziest person in the world, you
But
know.
that's good. That's good because that's me. That's good because I love to laugh. People know I'm the person. If we had a funeral and you don't want to cry, you might want to sit next to me. You might want to sit next to me because
I'm glad you said that because me and my mother were in an argument
uh
yesterday and she's here. I'm here taking care of my mom at
yes.
her house. And she had a person that passed away. My mom's 90 some years old, and she had a person that passed away. And I
hmm
was like, that let's celebrate. That person has lived, has
hmm
grandkids, and you know, I pray that I live, to be my mom's age, but let's
Right.
celebrate that life
Celebrate the
and look
life.
at,
Yeah.
that, yeah, let's have fun. Yeah. And she looked at me like I was out my mind.
Then your mom don't want to sit next to me then
Yeah, I know. She don't
because
want to sit next to me because I was like, she's like, I could, I'm not here on this earth. I'm 90 something years old. I'm not. And I was like, one, that's not your call. That's God's call about whether you're going to leave tonight, tomorrow, whenever. You just beat lung cancer, hopefully, God willing. But right now, this minute, you have control over being good and rejoicing and celebrating and feeling good and living and breathing and um thanking God for this day, this moment,
yes.
have this second. That's what we have
Right.
control. So, and
Yeah.
she
Oh yeah.
again, like, I don't want to hear all that.
It should be all right. Should be all
I speak the truth.
right.
She
Hey,
raised
my
me.
hey, my mom and I, when my grandmother passed, her mother, I'm sitting next to her in the front row, and we talked about everybody that walked by. I mean, yeah, we were roasting
You bet.
everybody.
You
We was
bet.
roasting. Listen, listen. I was just at a homegoing celebration of my father-in-law, and
Uh-huh.
I'm sitting with my wife's dad, and somebody did something, and because my wife said she always tell me, she said it's cloudy. Why you got the shades on? I said, look, I got to either I'm gonna cry or something. Somebody's gonna do something, and
Yeah.
I need these shades.
Uh,
I need these shades. I did my mother's eulogy, and it became like a comic view thing because my
Really?
yeah, because my mother was the type that if she knew you and she loved you, Sandy, she would say, Sandy, baby, come here, let me talk to you. And you were
Mhm.
like, okay. She's like, no, come on in the bathroom. And you're like, no, you be like, no, I'll wait till you come out. And she was like, Sandy, come on in here. And she's using the bathroom and trying to have a deep conversation with you. And you're like, what is your problem? So that's just, and I wanted to, like you said, celebrate the life. And so many people was hurting and crying. I couldn't just go up there and just pull scripture after scripture after scripture. I just wanted to talk about my mom.
Because your mother lived. What's your mother's name?
Lenny.
Lenny. Lenny
Yeah,
lived. I like that.
yeah,
Come in the bathroom. Come in. I like Lenny
yeah,
was real.
yeah. Mama was. I'm like, I'm a guy. Can you? She didn't care nothing about that. And what's amazing is that that's who I talked to about sex. It wasn't that I couldn't talk to my dad. I
Right.
don't know why. I was just comfortable
Right.
talking to my mom, which when I thought like that's weird, but that's just how the relationship we have. So when you talk about being silly and funny
Yeah.
and stuff like I said, that's me. That's my personality. Um,
I see. I love this picture you have with Woody and with TK. I remember shooting that day and we were in Atlanta. We shot at that huge mansion and
mhm.
Lil Rel was in that scene too.
Yeah, playing the lawyer. Yeah,
Yeah. And it was a good time. It was a good time.
yeah. I remember TK from Good Times. I've been watching TK that long.
I'm gonna give TK a call tomorrow. I haven't spoken with him in a minute, but I gotta reach out because we in the times that we need to reach out to each other and check
Oh
on.
yeah, oh yeah.
Mhm.
What is the rewarding part for you being an actor? What's rewarding for you to do this type of work?
I think the reward, and I'm take reward and say the blessing
Hmm.
for me is it's I love it. I always say it's for me acting and playing these roles and whether it's on stage or whether it's um on on screen, it's like breathing. It's
Okay.
tell these stories to um step into the heart and soul of and the skin of these characters. It's just like breathing. I love it. I love it more than anything. So it's a blessing and it's challenging because um, again, I'm still on this grind,
Hmm.
um, and I have to make a living. So, but it's a blessing that I have not stopped.
Did you? And I don't even have this. I didn't have this written down as a question, but I'm just curious. Did you go out for a role when they redid The Color Purple?
Mm-mm,
You didn't? Okay.
no, mm-mm,
Okay. Okay.
no,
Okay.
no. But I could tear that genre up. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I was just yeah.
I do play older characters. I played much older characters, so but yeah.
Um, do you love jazz?
I used to work for the Thelonious Monk Institute of Jazz, which is now the Herbie Hancock
Uh,
Institute of Jazz. I
mm-hmm.
love jazz.
Because I was well, I figured you had to for you were in the documentary keeping on
Yes.
with it was a Quincy Jones.
Yes.
So when I saw that, I said, "Oh, okay, she got to like jazz then. Okay, okay. Who's some of the jazz artists you like?
Oh, jazz artist. Herbie.
Oh, well, of course that
Okay.
that go without
Herbie.
saying.
Wayne Shorter.
Okay.
And I'm just doing like the old cats, Ron Carter,
Hmm.
um the old cats and these new young cats that are they're coming. But yeah, it's a collage of the old school and the new
Hmm.
school of jazz because um with new jazz or, like a lot of people, there's a song that I'm vibing to um right now that somebody said, Sandy, I want to sing you this song as jazz. And I love this song, but it's new. It's Boney James.
Yeah,
Um
I like Bonner James. I've been trying to interview him too. I did get a chance to interview twice Mr. Najee.
oh yeah,
That's
yeah,
that's my
yeah,
guy there.
yeah.
That's my guy.
Hmm.
Um, just two more questions for you.
Take your
Um,
time.
um, when you played the role of Carol Brown, um, that process of playing someone, um, who was a real person, and you are sitting, getting some, I'm sure, getting some information from Bobby, because of course
Yeah.
his his mother. For you as an individual, how was that process for you to make sure that you're trying to embody her, and and trying to do a good job to represent who she was, that that people could see on screen, especially when you were in the Bobby Brown biopic.
I think because growing up, and again, you take your life experience.
Hmm.
I'm not a mom. I will never be a mom, a god mom, or when I teach, I embrace, all our young people.
Sure.
But really having a child and raising a child, and then you are presented with a role of a real person, and you're given all this information, and then you look at the given circumstances, you look at their stories, and they're giving you all this information and telling you what happened. And then as that sink in,
Hmm.
and you are actually thinking like this happened, you know, and you're looking at your son in the highs and in the lows.
Hmm.
I think for me, it
Hmm.
was really as Carol did, as Miss Brown did, excuse me, as Mrs. Brown did,
Hmm.
like falling in love with your son and loving your son and sacrificing everything the only way you knew how, um, to support your son through the good, through the bad.
Hmm.
So I think that was my approach, is
Okay.
being just very truthful, but at the same time knowing that I have never experienced this. I can't even imagine
Hmm.
um, what Sandy would do. I don't know if I would make the right choices. I don't know if I would have the resilience, the strength um to overcome, what she did and what she went through, what he continues to go through in his life with all this
Right.
loss. Um so yeah, I think that was my journey, and that is my journey too in with Delanda, that people judge her so much. I fight for that young woman. She's one of my favorite characters I played.
But I
I
was going to go
fight
back
for
to
her.
that. I
I
was going to go
fight
back.
for Delanda. But at the same time,
Uh-huh.
as I tell you, and just the truth of it in those
Hmm.
circumstances, in that particular moment, in
Hmm.
those what ifs, I
Hmm.
think I make the right choices as an actor,
You
uh,
do.
um, for my characters, for what I'm gifted with.
Did you before I change subject, did you find yourself as Sandy, but still playing Miss Brown, looking at the totality of the story, the Bobby Brown story, and all the things that he went through, right? As the story was being, unveiled, did you fall back, like once this all was over, and just kind of imagine if his mother was here, the heart she would have for him on everything, like you said, been through?
I prayed that I was not play acting, that I was doing Miss Brown justice because again, getting to know Bobby,
Hmm.
and I had met him before,
Right.
two times before that, him and Alicia, and then being gifted with that role, I was just praying that I was bringing truth to Miss Brown. I didn't go ahead of myself. I went moment to moment from each
Okay.
scene we shot. I did
Okay.
not go ahead. I was truth in each moment that we shot in each of those scenes and each of the stories that they allotted us to tell. uh,
Hmm.
I was very present in each of those moments.
Okay. So you took it scene by scene and not, got you.
Not that I didn't play the end. I played the journey.
Got you. Got you. That, yeah, you, like you said, you made the right choices. Now, the lady that you fight for here, this character here,
Uh-huh,
Miss
love her.
Delana,
Miss Delanda Bryce.
when we had a conversation on the phone about
Mhm.
her, you made me see her also in a different light, far as she trying to be not only trying to survive, right, but also how she was raising her son because she knew how Baltimore was.
Yeah.
She knew what kind of father he had, her man,
Hmm.
and she could not have her son not strong. And I
Exactly.
think
You get it. You get
we
it.
missed it. We missed it.
Oh,
We missed it. We
thank
yeah,
you.
yeah,
You
we
get
missed it.
it.
Uh we
Yeah.
missed it because we judged the character. We
Judge,
judged,
that,
yeah,
that I can't raise a punk.
yeah,
I needed to raise a soldier.
yeah.
And people did not, they still hate on her. I scour social media looking for the hate for Delonda Bryce because that hate is so much love for my work. So I look for that hate and I'm like, yes, yes, yes.
Because people forget a particular scene
Hmm.
that actually what you talked about her survival. There's a scene people don't play a lot. And that is the scene between Delana and Barksdale's sister when she
Uh-huh.
says,
Michael, hi,
"Ain't
yeah.
ain't no more money."
Hmm.
And what you talk? There's no more money. See, she was fine. Like, okay, he took the plea. We got money coming in. Y'all still taking care of us. And when she said that there wouldn't be any more money,
Uh-huh.
like you said, now she's really in
Yeah,
survivor mode.
yeah,
So Naaman, you got to get out here and make. Hey,
yeah.
come on.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we miss we like you said we judged her without looking at the totality of what was going on with her family structure,
Hmm.
yeah, her financial structure, because that's getting one, Barksdale, they're cutting it off. Two, Weebay is in prison, so it's not like that money is going to roll in, and all she has is her son to keep him strong, but
Yeah.
at the same time, she needs him to help financially, So I get it, man. I get it.
And I remember that. And Michael, I forgot the new show she's on, and you guys should go look it up because she's a phenomenal. I hope I
I
get
saw
to
her in Snowfall. I saw her
yeah.
again in
And she's
Snowfall.
another series. She's another new
Okay.
series too.
Okay.
Um, but I remember shooting that day because yeah, I was remember we were going to see them. Um, and I played that to the T of, and I said, Dag, I wanted to replay that thing. And I wanted to
Hmm.
play it as Sandy, what Sandy would do about no, we're gonna do something about not having any money. But I played it so to the truth of taking in that information and being just deflated because
Yeah.
there was nothing I could do in that moment. And I felt weak. I felt Delanda being weak and I felt her being crippled. And a lot of people criticized Delanda in that moment. But Delanda was not expecting that.
No, she was
No.
not.
He
She
was
was
not, and I played it to the T of like I remember that just that heart wrenching that she shut me down in there, and I was mm,
yeah.
and I was like, dang, I want to go reshoot this because I want to go tag her. I want to tag her.
But we still miss
Mm-hmm.
the love that Weebay has for her. See, what everybody focus on is when he says you're gonna let that boy go, and
Mm-hmm.
if you don't, then wherever you go, my word will find you,
Yeah.
right?
But he
But
said the love. He gave me
right,
love. He said, I got you.
that's what
We
I was
gonna
getting
be
to.
okay.
He said we gonna be. He didn't say
Yeah.
because she was like, so I'm by myself. He said, no,
Yeah.
I got you.
He
We
said he got
we
me.
and he because he used the word we.
Me.
Yeah. So we're gonna be okay. So he
Mm-hmm.
was still letting her know that she still had him. He was
Mm-hmm.
just trying to make a decision, trying to change the trajectory of their son's life. And
Mm-hmm.
for him not to end up because he knew from talking to the cop that he actually saw the same thing the cop was saying. Naaman is not really built for this.
No.
He's not cut from nah. He is daddy's son, but he ain't his
Yeah.
daddy. You know, so we kind of miss what she went through because we were so quick to judge her. But that also is a testament of to you and your acting skills, to where you play a character so good that we ain't think about your backdrop. We ain't think about forget you. Girl, you shouldn't be raising that boy like that.
And again, excellent direction for that scene because when he first told me,
hmm
tears were rolling down. I was crying, and they were like, "Cut all that tears out, turn it off,
hmm
and just get to receive it."
I wish they would have allowed you
And
to
I was
stay there.
crying. Delonda was crying. They were like, she is just as tough as Weebay and all of them. D- No tears in that. They said.
I would
And
wanted to
I mean,
see the
I was
tears.
like, I was acting. Them tears was coming down. Like, so what about me? And they're like, we retaking that. No tears, Sandi.
Oh man, I would want to see the tears. I'm talking about when she's still hard, had that hard
Yeah.
extent, but the tears are still coming down because then it would have showed her being vulnerable, but yet hard. She would have been
Uh,
both at the same time, and you would have saw the complexity of like, man,
well, then they
what is
needed to do
going
the
on?
scene after she got home and poured herself an Angel's Envy or Uncle Nearest with one tear coming down and Naaman gone and Weebay in
Yeah,
prison and she alone with his fish.
because
One tear.
what did she have? Like you said, she's trying to hold on to her man, Weebay,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
she doesn't. Because people forget whether she was, let's say, she was still, getting on Naaman or yelling at him or
Hmm.
going on whatever. It still was a life she was used to having her son
Yeah.
there. And without we forget sometimes how deafening quietness can be when you
Mm.
lose someone. So her
Mhm.
losing Nathan and
Naaman.
Weebay, and I
Hmm.
mean Naaman, and then
Hmm.
she got to go see Weebay. Weebay ain't like Weebay coming to the house no time soon.
No.
That silence is deafening to her.
Yeah. Her and them fish. It should have been just that fish tank, a glass of Uncle Nearest, and one tear.
And what did?
And one tear, yeah. Because they were like,
Oh man.
Sandy. Yeah.
My final question for you is, what inspires Sandy McCree?
What is love.
Love.
Yeah, love. Another film that I uh premiered that I recently have a film called In Flight.
In Flight. Yeah, I
Uh-huh.
saw the trailer.
At the premiere, there was some older women that were
Hmm.
there who watched, and one of the women, she didn't know that I was in the film. She didn't know it was me, because I look different all the time. And we were talking. I was talking to her, and it was just such
Hmm.
a great conversation, and she enjoyed it, and she enjoyed meeting me. And I just said, "Oh, it was great meeting you." And she says, "Wonderful meeting you." And she said, "Every day I go out to look, every day I go out, I look for a joy, what brings me joy." And she said, "That's you today. You
Oh
gave me
wow.
joy today. Every day I find joy, something joyful in the day, and that was you." And I received that, because I'm we're just two strangers that are just passing, who just share
Hmm.
the experience of this film. And when I flew here, January 7th, during the fires in LA, and I flew here to my mom,
Hmm.
I had got off the plane, put my big coat on. It was a mother, father, and a young girl, and had my big fairy pink coat on. And the little girl was like, "I like your coat, whatever." And I was like, "Thank you." And she said, and she was touching. I was like, and the parents had pulled me to the side, and we were talking about the fires because we just got off the plane from LA.
Hmm.
And they had just said that they think they had lost their home,
Oh wow.
but the little girl doesn't know. This little girl, they had
Wow.
flew there because it was Jimmy Carter's funeral,
Okay.
his services, memorial.
Hmm.
Yeah. And her this and these are this family, they're in the business too, and they were like, she doesn't know. And this little girl, she couldn't have been but 5 or 6 years old, just
Hmm.
gave me so much joy. We're talking and feeling, and I told her what that this woman said, that she looks for joy every day. And I was like, "You're my joy today. You've given me so much joy today."
Wow.
And it's just
Wow.
wonderful meeting you. And it's about that love of, tomorrow's not promised. So much is happening right now.
Right.
And I don't know, whatever stranger I see people,
Hmm.
I'm an old girl. I'm trying not to wrinkle. So I'm always smiling. When you
Smiling.
see me, I'm always smiling. Um, but every day I go out when I'm out, to appreciate what is that joy now going to be for me today, or am I giving love today? So that's how I'm living. And as much as
Uh,
I audition, if I would be worried about, am I booking? I'm booking. Woo!
well, tell your agent I said
I'm-
to call the people that deal with Carl Weber, because
okay.
you
Oh,
need to either be on Carl Weber's Black Hampton,
uh,
Carl Weber Family Business, or the new one they just did, Carl Weber Family in New Orleans. You
oh yeah,
need,
with my friend Yvette Nicole Brown. Yes.
yes, yes,
Layla Rashawn.
yeah,
Yes.
you need to be
They
in you
know
need to be
me.
in the mix. I know they
They
know you, but
know me.
you need to be in the mix somewhere. We need to see
Yeah.
more of you, because you have great acting chops that um, um, we haven't seen the depth of range that you can do, and we need to see that, because you do bring joy to us. You do.
Thank you.
You do. And
Thank you.
so I would love to have you back at a later date. When I bring people back, I have them on the show with somebody else. It ain't
Okay.
just me. So it'll be somebody else
Okay.
on here. Stay safe.
Thank you. You as
Continue to
well.
take care of your mom. Continue to take
Okay.
care of your
Yeah.
mom. And you are a treasure to us. We do love you. Keep doing what you're doing and stay safe.
Thank you. God bless you.
God
Thanks for
bless you.
having me. All right.
Peace.